Let me start off by saying that I love cars, all cars actually. I do have a sweet spot for BMWs, I'll get that out of the way, but when it comes to certain things, I have to defend them because there's a lot more to BMW than most people know, and it's kind of unfair. They kind of have a reputation without a lot of people actually taking the time to understand what BMW is all about. So for this video, I want to talk about why Joe does not know best. And I like Joe, but I disagree with him on his thoughts about BMWs. Joe likes Porsches. I'll give him that one. Awesome brand. They make great cars. I've never met one I really didn't like. The good thing is I have driven a BMW M4, so I know what they're all about, and I can agree that the BMW M4 is a little bit more computerized and it kind of takes away the driver connection. So I'll give them that, but it's an awesome car. It's one that you can hop in, hit the road, and feel comfortable driving. For again, 420 horsepower, so you can handle that car pretty easily, and I guess to some people that's boring. I'll admit that I'm one of the people that likes to get in a car like the old M3s where you felt like the back end got a little squirrely, and that was fun. It's kind of a thrill, but the BMW M4 is more composed. It doesn't quite have that. He pointed out that BMW never competes when they have the chance to compete with Audi and Mercedes, but the thing is, those other manufacturers are going after BMW. And the fight between BMW and Mercedes has been going on for years. It's pretty much the same as Ford and Chevy. It's just back and forth, back and forth. There's always competition. Those guys are always going at it. He said that BMW doesn't do luxury quite as well as Mercedes. I'm gonna disagree on that one. Both manufacturers know how to make awesome, beautiful cars, and their interiors are out of this world. They're up there in my favorites. He went so far as to say that BMW does not need a car for every number. Well, guess what? Audi does it, Mercedes does it. So here we go. I'm gonna read off every single class that Mercedes has. A class, B class, C class, CLA, CLS, E, G, GLA, GLC, GLE, GLS, R, S, SL, SLC, and V class. That's pretty much the whole alphabet. And technically there is an X class. The next point he brings up is that BMW had the chance with the i8 to do something awesome and amazing. He says that they didn't. This is where I disagree. I'm not saying that BMW was the first at hybrid technology or anything like that, but what they gave us was a beautiful sports car that incorporated hybrid technology, because again, the world right now is focused on emissions, but they wanted to make sure that we weren't driving around boring Nissan Leafs. Here we have a beautiful BMW i8 that is a gorgeous, gorgeous car with solid sports car performance. While it's not up there with Ferrari and Lamborghini, I get that it's not, it does something else. It brings all of the things that we look for in an awesome car, and it puts it all together in a beautiful package that's pretty affordable considering what you're getting. For comparison, I'm going to talk about the Tesla P85D as kind of a base point, and that one's an all-electric car, so I know that it's not exactly apples to apples here. So we're gonna use apples to oranges to kind of get an idea of where the i8 falls. The i8 can do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. The Tesla, about 3 seconds. BMW has 369 horsepower, both motors combined, and about 420 foot-pounds of torque. The Tesla, staggering 691 horsepower. Yeah, the i8 weighs about 3,400 pounds. The Tesla is a little bit more of a chubster at 4,900 pounds, and that's right up there with the Dodge Charger and Challengers. The i8 can knock out the quarter mile in 12.1 seconds. I've seen the Tesla kind of varied, but it can usually do it in about mid-11s. As far as pricing goes, they're not too far off from each other, especially brand new. Yes, the i8 depreciates pretty fast, but if you're talking used car market, that's a whole different ballgame, something else to cover. I read an article where they took the Tesla and the i8 and around the track, and the thing is, a lot of people say the Tesla is really heavy, but it's got pretty good weight distribution. So it's got a low center of gravity, all the batteries are down on the floor. That makes it pretty good for being a big chunky car. It handles pretty well. But this is where the BMW shines. The i8 is a sports car, and it does exactly what it's supposed to. Around the track, the Tesla can't keep up. The Tesla is not a sports car in that sense. It's a car with great performance numbers, but it's not what I would call a sports car. BMW designs their cars to be fun, just like Mazda does their zoom. You know, it's just something that is synonymous with BMWs. They're the ultimate driving machine. And again, while I know that a lot of it's become computerized nowadays, that's not just a BMW problem, it's a problem across the auto industry. Joe also mentions that he wasn't a huge fan of his M4 because it was modified. And the thing with modifying cars is you're making a car specific to the way that you want it. So if you buy someone else's car, then you're taking on their project and the things that they like. You might not exactly like that. In 2017, BMW won the International Engine of the Year for the i8. In 2015, BMW also won the Green Car of the Year award. In 2014, BMW pulled the Technology of the Year award for the i8. The next point is BMW doesn't make supercars when they should. I agree with that one, but the thing is, BMW in a way doesn't really need supercars or hypercars or any of that. They've kind of got their foot in a lot of other projects, and it's not really their philosophy. It's not really what the company's about. BMW has the Mini, and that's their fun little tiny car. BMW also has Rolls-Royce, and they've got the 624 horsepower Wraith. And that's a beautiful car with some power. While the M5 might not be the first thing that you think of when you hear supercar, it's got 600 horsepower, 4 doors, and now all-wheel drive. I don't know, it might not necessarily be the most expensive at $102,000 starting price, but I don't know, that's a phenomenal car, and it does give those supercars a run for their money. And for those of you that love numbers, it does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Yeah, remember earlier when I said BMW has their foot in kind of a little bit of everything? They used to work with McLaren and still kind of do with making V12 engines. So a lot of the McLarens running around, yeah, BMW had a little foot in that. Funny story about the V12 engines. BMW decided back in the day that they were going to make an X5 with the V12, and it's something that I read on a Doug DeMuro article, and it's crazy because that was a 700 horsepower SUV. At the end of the day, they decided not to put it into production, but this was back in like 2001. Joe was talking about how BMW should be like Mercedes and have the G-Wagon 6x6 and all of that craziness just because they can. Well, they do awesome things because they can, but they do it in a different way. Technically, yes, there's only one real BMW supercar, and it's the M1. Ever since then, AMG's kind of whooped BMW when it comes to making supercars. And that's fair. Whether it's AMG, M, or RS, I love all German cars. They're my favorites, so it's just what it is. But I know that BMW makes awesome cars, and I can't just sit back and let people talk badly about my favorite manufacturer. The thing is, none of those German cars are really without their problems. You know, as far as reliability goes, you can't really sit here and argue BMW versus Mercedes. They all have their problems. German cars are awesome, but they come at a price, and they do require a lot of maintenance because they're well-oiled performing machines that need to be just that. They need to be well-oiled. All right, that's it. End rant. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Be sure to subscribe if you're curious, because I think I'm going to do a little video here on the M versus AMGs. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to stay tuned. But otherwise, thank you guys for checking out this video. Have a great day.